Here's a scenario I'd like your take on. So we hear from clients sometimes that are in great position financially with their house. Either it's paid off or almost paid off and they've got a really low interest rate loan on it. And so they'll say things like, I'd love to do something, but I feel trapped. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, it's a common problem we hear right now. Traditionally, we see three different options for that type of client. They sell. Usually they don't know the value of their home that they're able to get and utilize that equity for the next purchase. Second option, there's tons of financing options. We can look at seller financing if they're thinking about moving. Also, there's tons of financing options that lenders provide in order to make that transition a little more easy than they originally anticipated. Third option, what if they use the equity, rented their property or looked at some sort of income producing asset, maybe a vacation home or whatever that looked like. So there's a lot of options out there for people, and I think it's important just to consult with a realtor and see what those options are, because every situation is unique. A lot of sellers really don't understand the value of their home, right? I mean, they think that they can sell for A, but in reality, the market's giving us B, and B usually is a better scenario than A. So once we consult with that person and really get a true evaluation on their home and where we think it would sell, it unlocks so many more options available to them. Does that make sense?
Exactly. They get a big chunk of wealth that's just in the home. And they don't necessarily know how much it is and what they can do with it. I mean, that's just passive wealth right there. And so they have a lot of options. You're right.
Quite frankly, they've earned it, right? I mean, once you make your original purchase, you're allowing that compound effect to take place through appreciation. And so we want to be able to grab that equity and be able to utilize it for their next purchase to help them achieve the lifestyle that they're looking to achieve.
All right. So if you're in that scenario, what do you do? What are you going to do with that?
Well, I'm immediately going to consult with a realtor and figure out what the value of my property is, right? But then the second option is I'm just going to throw all of the complete scenario on the table for the real estate agent to unlock all the options, which that leads us into number two, right? I mean, there's several different financing options that we're seeing in the marketplace right now. Reverse mortgages, seller financing, those type of things. And each could be very specific to what someone's trying to achieve, right?
Yeah. I love seller financing idea. Just personally for me, that I think that gives somebody so many options to not only get the money for their asset, but now they have an additional asset, which is that loan. And they're getting interest on that. So it's a double way to increase their net worth. But it's not for everybody. But for somebody who feels comfortable with that, that's a great option.
So in other words, you're telling me the seller can act as the bank?
Absolutely. Because they have that asset, especially if it's paid off, and somebody wants to come to them and say, I'd like to buy your home. Great. Now you have to work with an attorney to make sure you're doing it the right way. You don't want to be out there on your own doing this without proper representation, but you can absolutely be the bank to give that loan to somebody, get an additional interest rate on that, and get the money for the house, which you can then take and go do whatever you want.
Sounds like a fantastic option. What if, Zach, they decided to rent the home and then go buy something else? And I've been a part of a few situations where we're able to utilize the debt to income ratio increase through a renter being in the property. As long as you have that lease in place, you increase your debt to income ratio, which allows you to increase your purchasing power, correct?
Yeah, that's what people, when they say rent, okay, that's a great idea, but how can I do that? Because either they need the money to put down on another house, or they're worried about their debt to income ratio to qualify for a loan for that other house. Because you're exactly right. If we have a lease in place, that can help adjust the debt to income ratio and basically take it out of the equation. But then also you can still borrow money from your own home, whether it's a home equity line of credit or something like that, to then put that money down on a house. And the greatest thing about the interest rates of the past, where we had 2.5, 3% interest rate, that's a great asset right there, because frankly, it's pretty easy with the rent to make your mortgage payment plus more in addition to that. So you're net ahead on the house.
And you asked me what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. I would utilize my low interest rate at 3%. I'd put a renter into that property. I'd increase my debt to income ratio, and then I'd go buy the home that I'm looking to achieve my next lifestyle chapter with, if that makes sense. And then the beauty of it, and you know this, you are now taking appreciation from two properties, not one, which is going to, again, catapult your net worth.
Yeah, especially if you're in a market like here in Columbus, where appreciation is beyond the normal appreciation that we've seen across the country. So if having two assets that are increasing like that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Speaking of two assets, I would do something like that, but I would actually stay in the house, go buy a vacation home.
Oh, where would your vacation home be?
So my family would probably, because it's most convenient, here in Central Ohio, we got Buckeye Lake, a little bit east of here. That'd be where I'd go.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people around here like places like Hilton Head, Norris Lake down in Tennessee, or even Florida. I mean, the Naples, that side of things. So having another asset, maybe in another market that their family can regularly use would be great.
No, that's awesome. And then again, you're creating those memories with your family by having this vacation home to which everyone can come together, enjoy some lake life or whatever throughout a weekend. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. So you can rent your home. You can go get a vacation home, maybe even rent that home. Mm-hmm. You can do creative things like seller financing, or just enjoy the value of your home. Maybe take some of that money to further increase your home. Its value, say I've always wondered about finishing my basement or adding that extension or those kind of things.
Yep.
You could use that equity in your home to do that.
Yep. No, that's great. So in summary, there's tons of options that are available for someone that has a lot of equity in their home. They're in a low interest rate and they're feeling like, gosh, I don't want to take on another mortgage payment that is a 7% interest rate. There's tons of options out there, but the first thing they need to do is get a hold of their real estate agent just to unlock those options and see what's possible.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Come see us.
Yep.